Yes, hello and welcome. Well, welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I'm, of course, Mr. Francy, and I'm truly honored that you've once again chosen to join me today as we go through my final weekly vlog for the month of October, covering the 22nd through to and including the 28th of October 2025. Following this video, I have my November TBR coming up, and then I will be splitting my October monthly wrap up into two parts. My non-cozy books that I read in the month of October will be first in my October monthly wrap, and then I'll do my cozy books part 2 for the October monthly wrap. But otherwise, how have things been? No real big change, to be honest. Still dealing with the deficiencies that I received owing to my last blood test. For those of you who weren't aware, I'm just dealing with a number of different things at the moment, and the channel is still a sparkling channel. It's just, some days are tougher than others. At the moment, I am midway through very major dental surgery. I was born with a congenital disorder known as a meliogenesis imperfecta. That is, ameliogenesis, not a meliogenesis, ameliogenesis imperfecta, and so all of my teeth have been removed. I'm currently toothless, so if I have trouble pronouncing certain words, I do apologize. But a good friend once said to me, Mr. Francy, we can either laugh or we can cry, and I much prefer to laugh. At the same time, while I am waiting for my dentures that we are going to be putting in, which may still take a while to happen, I'm also dealing with a vitamin B12 as well as iron deficiency, so I'm taking a lot of Spartone, which is a liquid iron supplement thing, and I'm also on a waiting list to get iron infusions at my local hospital, so we'll see how things go on that count. I should be taking vitamin B12 injections. I just haven't made my next appointment yet. I used to very much be a trypanophobe, someone who was very scared of needles and injections and stuff like that, but at the moment I have been, in the words of, Diane Keaton, which, bless her, by the way, she recently passed away, so rest in peace, Diane. But in the words of Diane Keaton from The First Wives Club, when she's talking about Goldie Hawn's character, Elise Elliott, I have been yanked and pooped and stuffed and stitched. She's referring to Elise Elliott having Phyllis. She's like, Elise, you have been yanked and poked and stuffed and stitched. You are a turkey. I have been yanked and poked and stuffed and stitched to the point that I no longer think I have trypanophobia. I'm now the person that says, you want a blood test? Here, take my blood. Here, give me my needle. Honestly, it's... if that's me, even 10, 12 months ago, I would have said, no, I don't like needles. But now it's just like, ugh, just do what you gotta do. But I just haven't made my next vitamin B12 needle immunization appointment yet. I will make it soon. Also recently, in my area of Melbourne, we had a really tough, weather situation, where fortunately for me, the worst that happened at our house is that we suffered a power outage for a good 12 hours. It felt very much like living in a dystopian world. Like, you don't realize how much you rely on power, electrical power, until the power goes out and doesn't come back on for over 12 hours. So, I was like, I don't have my laptop. I can't listen to my audiobooks. What can I do? Fortunately, the sun was still up, so I opened up my curtains behind me, laid on my bed, and grabbed my book and was physically reading where I was up to in my audiobook. So at least that was a good thing. But my father, my stepmother, and we went for a drive afterwards, and I tell you, not even a 2-minute drive away from us, there were houses where their fences had been completely knocked down, trees had fallen over, houses had been smashed by trees. It looked like a war zone just 2 minutes away from my location. So I absolutely do count every blessing that I have that this house is still standing. It was not damaged in any way, thank goodness, and the only thing we had to deal with was a power outage. I don't really know what happened other than there being a bit of horrible weather. We had relentless rain followed by some really loud thunderstorms, but there were reports that we had a mini whirlwind or mini tornado, which is interesting because we don't really get them here in Melbourne. You might get a tornado or a cyclone up in Queensland, which is, 2 states above me. I'm in Victoria in Australia. So in the state of Victoria, I'm in the city of Melbourne. You have my suburb. And then above us, you have New South Wales and Sydney, and above them you have Queensland and Brisbane. And maybe in Queensland sometimes they'll have tropical cyclones, but we don't really have them here in Melbourne. So to think that there was a whirlwind or some sort of cyclone that hit literally a 1 to 2 minute drive away from where I live is very scary. And as I say, I'm just counting all the blessings that I am okay, that my family is okay, the house is still standing, and the only thing we had to deal with was a power outage. So, for those of you who are new, hello and welcome to this sparkly channel. The sparkle does not stop here. I do also have a Discord server, and the link to that is in the description, as well as the first pinned comment down below, so feel free to click that at any time. I am over on the Discord every single day doing sprints, and it is a whole lot of fun. We're also doing a whole lot of other things, including a really fun road map tour of America at the moment, going state by state. It's been really interesting. I want to get to know all the different states in the US, and there have been a lot of people who have been contributing to that, so I really do appreciate it. But if you are new here, you will be receiving a pouch full of glitter and confetti, so feel free to throw it in the air because we are a sparkling channel over here. Despite or in spite of whatever I go through, I always like to look at the positive side of things. I read a great quote by Charlie Mackesy in his book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, where one animal says to a boy, "Do you see the glass as being half empty or half full?" And the boy says, "I'm just thankful to have the glass." Yeah, that is me. I'm always showing gratitude. I'm always thankful for things and seeing all the blessings, the little blessings in life. And it's so easy to get bogged down in negativity with so many dark things going on in our lives. But when we really take the time to pick out the positives, we can certainly see that there are really good things that are going on. And when we hold on to those positives and the bright shining light that is there, even if it's sometimes hard to find, when we do find, if we hold on to it, then yeah, I feel like we do live a much brighter, happier life. And that's what I'm doing. Despite everything I'm going through, I'm leaning on the positives and, feeling thankful for all of the blessings that I have received. So after a personal life update, I generally talk about what I've been watching, and this past week I have been watching The Traitors because not so long ago I read Parvati Shallow's memoir, Nice Girls Don't Win. Parvati was famous for being on Survivor. She's done multiple seasons on that show, but recently she was also on The Traitors USA, and I love the show The Traitors. So after reading her memoir, I watched her episode, her season, I should say, and there was a season that came up after her, so I watched that US season, and then I went back and watched the latest season of Traitors UK, which was season 3. They're currently bringing out new episodes of season 4 in the UK, which is a celebrity season. I'm waiting for that one to be fully done so I can fully binge it. So I watched season 3 of Traitors UK, and then went back and I'm now watching season 2 of Traitors UK. These are all rewatches for me. I love The Traitors so much. It's such a good show, and great news, many years after they cancelled, they axed completely The Traitors in Australia. It is coming back next year, hosted by one of my favorite hosts, the former host of Big Brother, Gretel Colleen, is going to be hosting a celebrity season of The Traitors for Australia. So, finally, I knew if the UK and the US would have continued success with The Traitors, that they would somehow bring it back here, and they are, and they're doing exactly what they did with the US, which again is bringing in celebrities to play the game. And I think that works really well because people know celebrities, so, you have a lot of fans and a lot of people who are going to tune in for the drama. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you have not seen The Traitors, I do highly recommend it for the sake of the psychology behind it. Basically, we start off with a group of 20, 21, 22, somewhere around there, people who are placed into a room and sit around a round table blindfolded. 2, 3, or 4 people are tapped on the shoulder and they become traitors. The object of the game for the traitors is to make it to the end. The rest of the players who have not been tapped on the shoulder are the faithful. The object of the faithful is to determine who the traitors are and to banish them. Every night, 2 major things happen. There is a banishment that occurs where every single player sits around the round table, they have a discussion. Following the discussion, each player places 1 vote for someone that they feel is a traitor. The person who receives the most votes becomes banished from the castle, but before they leave, they need to reveal if they are a traitor or a faithful. Then, that night, the traitors secretly meet up in the secret traitor turret or conclave, depending upon what season you're watching, and they discuss one faithful to murder, quote unquote, to murder and take out of the game. And then, yeah, we go all the way through to the end, and it's just really fun watching these players in this game try to determine who actually is a faithful, who is a traitor. Everyone can literally say the words, I am a faithful, but not everyone's telling the truth. And who is that and why? And I just find it really, really fun. So I'm really enjoying my time with the traitors. But we need to move on and talk about what I have been reading, because my goodness me, I had such a massive TBR. I had a TBR of about 17 or so books on my TBR, and I didn't think I was going to get through it at all. I ended up having, I think, 3 or 4 books on my TBR that were if I don't get to it, it's totally fine. They're not priority for me. And let me tell you, I'm currently reading the second last one on that list, and when that one's done, I'll read the 17th book, and then I will have read 17 books this month. So yeah, really, really proud of that. I was looking at my stats recently. I have read over 5,000 pages so far this month, which is huge for me. It's not something that I normally would do, so really proud of my reading efforts. In saying that, please don't compare or contrast yourself with me. Given my current situation with my teeth and my vitamin B12 and my iron deficiency, this is my work, if you will. I don't really work at the moment because I can't. So during the day, I clock on to read and be on Discord and do my booktube stuff. This is what I do. So if you aren't reading a lot during the month, don't look at yourself or me and think one thing or another. I have the time to do it, and reading is really helping me because it's giving me an escape from what I'm dealing with at the moment. So, you know, as much as I'm surprised at how much I have read to this point, please don't compare and contrast with me, because I most likely have a lot more time to read than a lot of you do. So there you go. Alright, let's talk about what I have been reading. The first book that I finished in this past week was this book, The Silence of the Flans by Laura Bradford. This is book number 2 in the Emergency Dessert Squad Cozy Mystery series, and I gave this book a total of 4 stars. This is a trilogy buddy read along that we are doing over on my Discord, The Sparkle Cafe, and my dear friend Jessica, who has the booktube channel Lady Lovestead Reads, her Discord server, The Lovestead. We've both come together to become the Sparklestead Productions, and we're doing a trilogy read-along of the 3 books in this series. This is book number 2. So I enjoyed the cozy theme, as I always do. Laura Bradford knows how to write a book that feels like a warm hug. The series premise of this one is that we follow Winnie Johnson, who runs an on-the-road dessert company called the Emergency Dessert Squad that caters to dessert emergencies. Now, in this book, after delivering a blueberry crisp to an RA when her client isn't in her dorm room, Winnie reflects on how much she loves this on-the-road business. That is until her client ends up dead, poisoned by Winnie's blueberry crisp. It makes no sense though. How did the woman die from her crisp? And also, why is everyone calling it a blueberry pie? Don't they know the difference? Winnie needs to solve this case if she's going to clear not only her name, but also her business. So to my thoughts, Laura Bradford is the coziest author I've ever read from. I really enjoyed her Friend for Hire duology and the first 2 books in this series for the same reason. She writes kind-hearted characters with a plot that is cozier than any other cozy I've ever read. For that reason alone, I plan to continue reading from Laura Bradford's works. In saying that, I didn't really enjoy the mystery in this one. There was a vital clue that came up towards the end that I did not appreciate, but even then, once the reveal was made, it felt messy. I therefore sadly had to dock a star. In saying that though, the book does deserve a solid 4-star rating. Really enjoying the coziness of it, and I cannot wait to get to book number 3, and I gave this book 4 stars. So the next book that I read was book number 12 in the Magical Cats Cozy Mystery series by Sophie Kelly, A Case of Cat and Mouse. And I gave this book a total of 3 stars. Given the cozy thread of this book revolved around a baking contest, I was surprised at how removed from the actual contest we actually were. The serious premise for this one is that we follow Kathleen Paulson, a librarian from Maryville Heights in Minnesota, usually motivated by her magical cats Owen and Hercules. Kathleen solves mysteries as an amateur sleuth. Now, in this book, a baking competition not dissimilar to the Great Bake Off series has come to Mayville Heights. Kathleen is hired to offer background info on the contestants, as well as background on Mayville Heights itself. However, one night, when Kathleen is hanging back at the contest to finish up certain things, she spies one of the judges face down in a bowl of cream, and Kathleen knows this was no accident. So to my thoughts, I love Owen and Hercules and always will. That said, anything outside of the 2 cats just didn't work for me. I was so happy that a baking competition was included in the book, and yet the focus wasn't really on the contest, but more the behind the scenes stuff. It felt like a wasted opportunity to me personally. Also, by the time the killer was revealed, I was already over the book. It's sad given how much I absolutely loved book 11. I will be reading book number 13, but for this one, sadly, I gave it 3 stars. So the next book that I read was book number 5 in the An Essie Cobb Senior Sleuth Cozy Mystery series by Patricia Rockwell. I love this series. I freaking love this series, and if I'm gonna tell you all to pick up a cozy mystery series, pick up this one. It is yet to let me down. Oh my gosh, book number 5 is Firecrackered. This series, it's just so good. Imagine the TV show The Golden Girls. Fast forward 10 years after that show wrapped up, and we have the 4 ladies in a retirement home, and they're just going under different names. So Essie Cobb definitely reminds me of Blanche, Devereaux, I keep saying her name wrong, but it is Devereaux. Blanche Devereaux. Marjorie reminds me of, oh gosh, why am I not thinking of their names right now? I can picture her. Rose. Marjorie reminds me of Rose. Opal reminds me of Dorothy, and Faye reminds me of Sophia, and I am having an absolute blast with this series. What can I say? It's a light cozy mystery series. So it's not cozy standard. It's not gritty cozy. It's a light cozy mystery series. And what this means is that generally speaking, the mystery that we're trying to solve is not going to be a death. I just love the characters, I love the setting, I love the humor, I just love everything about it, and following elderly people in my cozies is my jam, so if any of this speaks to you, I highly recommend it. It is available in paperback, clearly, also it's available on ebook, and also it's available on audiobook, and the audiobook is absolutely amazing. I do highly recommend that as well. So you have all the options. I highly recommend checking this out if you don't mind reading a light cozy mystery series, especially if you're over people getting murdered in every single book in a cozy mystery and you want to read something different and you like your elderly sleuths, pick up this series. I will not steer you wrong on this channel. It is just such a good series. Now that I've gushed more than enough about the series, not even a power strike while listening to the audiobook could keep me away. I snatched up the physical and finished off this amazing book. I spoke earlier about that power strike. So I was about 4/5 of the way through this book. The power strike hit, and I couldn't listen to the audiobook anymore, so I grabbed up the physical, laid on my bed, and just kept right on reading. So in this series, we follow Essie Cobb and her friends Marjorie, Opal, and Faye, octogenarians who live in Happy Haven, a retirement home for the elderly. Together, all 4 octogenarians make for amazing amateur sleuths. Now, in this book, the upcoming 4th of July fireworks has inspired competitions, and so Essie asks her grandson Ned to come down and assist her. However, later on, when everyone goes outside to see the fireworks, Essie is saved by a heroic elderly gentleman who tackles her to the ground and takes the brunt of a loose firework in his backside. But is there more to it than the firework just being rogue? Essie Cobb and her friends are on the case. So to my thoughts, I love this series so much. I'll say it definitely feels like what I imagine Golden Girls will be 10 years in the future, with all the Golden Girls living together in a nursing home. The mystery was very intriguing, and I have a soft spot for Essie's grandson Ned, who seemed to just want the best for his grandmother. Truly enjoyed this book, as I have all the books in the series so far. I gave it an overwhelming 5 stars, and this will be the last time in this video that I say I highly recommend this series. If you are... if you're in a bit of a rut with your reading, if, things aren't going well and you need a refresher, pick up an Essie Cobb Senior Sleuth Cozy Mystery book today. Trust me, it will turn your day around. They are so much fun. They're witchy, they're friendly, they're cozy, the elderly people are so much fun. I think you will absolutely love it as much as I have. I feel like these are hidden gems of books, and yet they are just so amazing. 5 stars from me. And the final book that I completed, for this week of the 22nd to the 28th of October 2025 is book number 5 in the A Case for the Master Sleuths Cozy Mystery Series by Alex Wagner, Horses and Other Hazards. And I gave this book 4 stars. This is a good book. It was better than book 4, which I found to be quite average. I love Athos and Pearl and really enjoyed getting to know Egon the parrot. The series premise for this one is that we follow Athos, an Alaskan Malamute, who travels all over Europe with his kitten friend Pearl. There's Pearl. And their human Victoria. Now, in this book, Victoria is staying with an animal psychologist, Hermine, which, okay, let me tell you, I, finished Firecracker, and we still had that power outage, so I picked up the physical of this one, and I'm reading it, I'm going, oh, her name is Hermione, which is so funny, because in Harry Potter, when I read the name Hermione, I'm like, okay, her name is Hermione, and then found out her name is Hermione. So in this book, I'm like, oh, it's Hermione! Oh, there's another Hermione! Yay! Then when the power came back on, I switched over to audiobook, and the audio narrator's going, Hermine? Hermine? What do you mean Hermine? Fine, her name is not Hermione, it's Hermine. So Victoria's staying with an animal psychologist, Hermine's fiance, and his adult children. It makes sense, after all, Victoria was a psychologist of humans, and she's becoming more and more suspicious about Athos and Pearl's way of assisting with murders. It seems Hermine's fiance's children do not like her at all, however, does she not like them? This question is brought to the forefront when one of the adult children is found murdered. Then another one is found murdered days later. Athos and Pearl are thrilled that Hermine has a parrot, Egon, who not only can speak to them, but also to the humans. However, Egon is stubborn and doesn't want to help the daft dog and daft cat. But when Egon's human, Hermine, seems to be in danger, will Egon change his mind? So to my thoughts, I enjoyed this book a lot more than book 4, and so therefore we'll continue on with the series. I love Athos and Pearl as animal amateur sleuths, and the addition of Egon really made the book for me. I thought the mystery was very intriguing, and there weren't too many characters in this book, which made it easier to follow, so a big plus there. I called the killer about 2/3 of the way through, but was still happy with the reveal. It was a good book, and I am looking forward to book 6. I gave this one 4 stars. And so to my current read, I'm currently reading book number 11 in the Country Store Cozy Mystery series, Four Leaf Cleaver by Maddie Day. This definitely was one of those, if I don't get to it, it's totally fine, and yet I have so much time still to go that I'll definitely finish this and the last book on my TBR. But anyway, I am currently there, which is page 71, chapter 15. So in this series, we follow Robbie Jordan, who runs a part diner, part B&B, part country store in Southlake in Indiana. And in this particular book, there is going to be an Irish cooking competition that is taking place. Look, I don't really celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We might do that over here in Australia. I don't know, but I'm not a big beer drinker. And in Australia, we don't go out of our way as much as they do in the States and Canada and Europe to celebrate certain holidays. So it's not as well celebrated in Australia as it is overseas. So it's just not something that I think of, and the idea of, like, I don't know, drinking beer just doesn't allude to me. Like, it's not my thing. Anyway, so I'm not a fan of that, but the idea of having people cooking always is a good thing for me, so I was inspired to see what sort of St. Patrick's Irish dishes they would come up with. Unfortunately, however, the leader of the thing, what is she? Doesn't even say what she is, but the producer, okay, sorry. Before the cameras start rolling, Tough as Nails producer Tara O'Hara Moore is found upstairs in her B&B bedroom, and she's been murdered. So we need to find out who killed her and why, which has put a stop to the competition, which is unfortunate. Look, I think the book is an average start for me. The theme of it being St. Patrick's Day is just not appealing for me, and the fact that the producer is dead means we're probably not going to get the cooking competition, which I really would like to see. Kind of harkens back to this book, where we had a cooking competition, but we didn't really get to see it. If you're going to have a cooking competition in your cozy, for someone like me, can you please show us the cooking competition? Because I love those things. But anyway, it's an average read for me so far. Not enough to DNF. I'll definitely keep going. It's not horrible, but not amazing. It's very much an average read. It's going to get either 3 or 4 stars at this stage if things don't change. Alrighty. And now for everyone's favourite game that we like to call These are all the books that I completed during the week of the 22nd through to the 28th of October 2025. Oh yes, and I forgot to say, I'm wearing my cat top today. This is a new top for me. Meow meow. Yay. Woo! Anyway, so just a reminder, the next video you are going to get from me will be my November 2025 TBR, and yeah, it's just as long as my October one, so lots of books to get through there. Then following that, you will get my October monthly wrap part 1, which will be my October wrap with all my non-cozy mystery genre books. Then after that, it will be the October wrap part 2, which will be my cozy mystery books October wrap up. Okay, good. Alright, but that is where I am going to leave it. Letting you all go. Peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind. Please do love one another. And spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, everyone.